Good afternoon, and thank you for being here with us for this town council meeting. We're going to call the meeting to order, and at this time, I'm going to call upon Nathan Swartz with Chapel Bay Church to come up and lead us in our invocation, and Jeremy Shugarts, our Mayor Pro-Tem, will follow with the Pledge of Allegiance. If you would, please stand.
Let's pray together. God, we're so very grateful and thankful for the mayor, the town council, the first responders, the staff, the police, and the firemen that you've provided for this town in order for us to accomplish what your goodwill is. And that's what we pray for. There's any other days to wait for. There's no other second chance it's going to come around. It's right here. It's right now. And we're very grateful for the opportunity to support all of those who love this town, who are our neighbors, and seek to do your goodwill. So help us have the compassion to see clearly, the courage to do rightly and biblically. And thank you, Lord, for the chance to gather together and support this great town which we love. Grant us all wisdom to support it and do the very best we can. We love you, Lord. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. At this time, we have a beautification and enhancement committee that gives out awards each month to a business of the month and the home of the month. And Mr. Jerry Groves, which is part of that committee, is going to... Iman, I'm sorry. Come on. Is going to come up and present the awards.
I thought I was calling by the wrong name on these.
Okay, so business of the month for this month was Shuck and Shack.
Thank you.
I know.
Sure.
We're very thankful. We've been here 10 years, looking forward to many more years with the town. Mayor, you were on the council when we first opened up, so everyone else is fairly new. But I want to say thank you to all of you. I've called some of you in the middle of the night, first time in the morning, to get help and answer a question. So I appreciate you. I know it's a thankless job and position that you're in, but we definitely appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your 10-year commitment. If you want to come up and if you want to say something about your 10-year commitment, Jason. Or you want to say it, Beverly, about your 10-year commitment to our town?
We just re-signed our lease and we've committed to the community for another 10 years. We're looking forward to doing it.
Okay, so home of the month is 412 North Topsail Drive.
Callie, you should tell us about all you've done and how great it looks. I mean, come on. It looks awesome.
This is your time. This is your 5 minutes of fame.
I bought this little house. It was like one of the original fishing cottages around here in 1950s or so. Instead of bulldozing it, I just redid it. It's really pretty. You should come by there and take a look.
Okay, so this time is where we adopt the agenda for tonight, and it came to my attention just minutes before that we need to make a motion to add closed session for personal, which would go under item 15. If I can get a motion to add item 15.
I'll make a motion to add item 15.
And do I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion is carried. At this time, we have the approval of the consent agenda. If I could have a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries to approve the consent agenda. And at this time, we have a public comment period. And Carla says we have no public comments. So we're going to move. We're moving right along. So I'm going to call upon Sean Olds which is in our planning department. He's going to come up and we're going to have some public hearings. The first public hearing is a ordinance amendment for unbuildable oceanfront lot, deck, and crossovers.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, council members. So the first item on the agenda is one of 4 ordinance updates today. In November 2024, the Town Council approved the updates to the zoning and subdivision ordinances. As discussed at the time of adoption, the ordinances are living documents that will require updating as the town grows. And after adopting the ordinances, it was noted that the unbuildable oceanfront lot ordinance did not move from the repealed ordinances to the newly adopted ordinances. Planning Board has recommended adding language into the adopted ordinance as noted in your attached packet. The ordinance allows for construction of a deck structure, walkovers, crossovers on these unbuildable lots that have to do with CAMA setbacks, variable other factors. And the ordinance does outline more specifics. It was originally in Appendix A, Section 5.18. So staff recommends adding this use to the table of uses as a permitted with standards use and including the current conditions. The revised table of uses and ordinance is attached for your review. This recommendation is also supported by the comprehensive plan and such policies as 3.2.R, preserve, protect, and enhance natural resources, and policy 3.1I, island preservation, and 3.1K, protection of dune systems. The planning board did recommend of this approval of the ordinance language as submitted. Questions?
At this time, I need a motion to open up a public hearing.
I'll make a motion to open public hearing.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries to open public hearing. At this time, do we have anyone that would like to make any comments concerning the ordinance amendment on unbuildable oceanfront lot, deck, crossovers? This is the recommendation from the planning board meeting as to the comprehensive land use plan. If it's your time to speak up if you would like to. If anyone would like to speak up concerning this item of public hearing, please speak up now. Hearing none, do I have a motion to close public hearing?
I'll make a motion to close public hearing.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries to close public hearing. At this time, it is requested that the town council consider approval of the ordinance amendment as presented.
Make a motion, we approve as presented.
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries for the ordinance amendment. Thank you, Sean. Item number 2 is ordinance amendment for hotel parking requirements, and Sean will present.
Yes. So whereas the last one was an omitted ordinance from our last code of ordinances, this one would be an amendment to our off-street parking requirements for hotels. These are provided in efforts to alleviate congestion in the streets and allow for efficient storage of motor vehicles while concurrently reducing any adverse environmental impacts. So this item is a request to lower our hotel parking standards from 1.25 spaces per guest room to 1 space per room. The town was approached by Clarendon Properties in October of 2023. They are potential developers for an upcoming hotel project beside Walmart. Clarendon did request a reduction in hotel parking. And in doing so, they did research and they looked at towns throughout North Carolina that were large. They were much larger than Surf City. They were inland cities. So staff did research on smaller beach towns. We looked at Wrightsville Beach, we looked at Carolina Beach, we looked at Nags Head, we looked at Emerald Isle, and in doing so, we saw that their hotel standards for off-street parking were all 1. Now, this does vary, but the request from Clarendon is to bring our standards down to 1 from 1.25. So staff does recommend amending our current code to reduce our off-street parking requirements. And this is supported by the comprehensive plan and policy 4.1Q, 5.1B, and the consistency policy 5.1F. The idea is that by reducing these off-street parking requirements, this presents an opportunity to preserve more open space in each development, encourage walkability, and reduce traffic congestion. And Planning Board did recommend approval for this.
Thank you, Sean.
Yep.
At this time, do I have a motion to open public hearing?
I'll make a motion to open public hearing.
Second. I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. We are now in public hearing. If anyone has any questions at this time, now is your time to ask questions. If you'd like to make a comment, this is your time to make a comment.
So,
If you would,
come up.
yep,
Yeah.
please state your name and your address, please.
Cameron, 98 J. Dispatch Road. How many rooms are we looking
So
at?
what we looked at compared to Wrightsville Beach and other cities was 1 per guest room. And currently, right now, it's 1 1/4 per guest room, and then just more if we have an associated use, like a restaurant or a marina tied to the hotel.
How many guest rooms are we looking at for the hotel?
We don't have a visit, we
Yes.
don't have a submittal.
This is just
for-
changing the ordinance, an ordinance, like a text amendment.
Okay.
So there's,
Yeah, you're
But
fine.
you can request that information because it is public record.
Okay, yeah, I mean, that's gonna make the difference on the parking though, right? Okay.
Anybody else?
So on the verbiage for the ordinance, if we reduce it to 1 vehicle per room, are we going to look at the room as a studio-style room, not like a suite where there's multiple bedrooms in a unit?
Sure. I think the idea and what Planning Board recommended was to look at something like Wrightsville Beach, where they have 1 for a guest room, and then they have 1 1/2 for a 2-room suite. They had 2 spaces for anything larger than a 2-room suite. So that would be the recommendation too. Just it's hard to quantify how many people will be in a room. So the industry standard is to look at averages of rooms in hotels, and they'll look at the occupancy rate and peak summertime, see how many rooms are occupied and how many people will be in the hotel. But it's hard to count the people.
And then, right, do we have a requirement for parking spaces on commercial properties on the island? We don't have a requirement for parking spaces if it's a commercial space on the island, right? It's just off island?
Yeah, and
So then would this carry over if somebody wanted to do something on the island, they would be required to now fall under this ordinance as well?
I don't know if I can answer that question,
Okay.
Councilwoman.
Well, the hotels are only allowed in C3.
Okay.
So you would have to look at that on the island and where that could be. More than that, I don't have that answer right now, but I can follow up with you on that.
Okay. I think that would be my only like caveat to that is in the event that there's something like this that comes up on the island that we would require them to have those parking spaces as well and have that written and not be assumed that it doesn't have to have that.
but knowing that we have compared this to 4 other small towns.
Sure.
Less space means less cars on our road. It does follow our comp plan, and it is consistent, being consistent with what we have said that we were moving forward. And it is a recommended that we reduce it from 1.25 to 1. Anyone else want to make any? Yes, ma'am. Please state your name and your address.
Gloria Blanton, 205 Triton Lane. My question is that data from Wrightsville Beach and everywhere available for people to look at?
It is. You
Okay.
can, yeah, you can Google any town's code of
I mean,
ordinances.
just knowing the different sizes and
It
everything,
is,
it would
yeah,
be
yeah.
interesting to see. So,
They have all their parking tables online.
oh,
Yeah.
okay. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Does anyone else have any comments or questions?
I have a question. Just clarification on my part. We're going from 1 1/4 to 1. And when you first read it, I heard it as we're reducing to 1 space per room, and I'm thinking hotel room, meaning the door you put the key in. However many doors you put the key in, that's how many spaces. But then we said something to the effect of Wrightsville Beach, if it's more than 1 bedroom, then it's spaces per bedroom. So just for clarification, is it spaces per bedroom or spaces per rented room?
So there's kind of 2 answers to this. So Planning Board recommended following how Wrightsville Beach had theirs, which was 1, 1.5, 2, as it went up per type of room. Our ordinance just states 1.25 spaces unless there's an associated use, and then we would add more. It's not specified. So I think that would be the recommendation for you all to determine if it would stay kind of not as well defined, or if we wanted to follow something like Wrightsville Beach. But it would be per room. If it's just a guest room, or if it's a 2-room suite, or more than that. So
This is for the purposes of someone trying to come and build a hotel, and these are the requirements we're going to say. If you have 40 rooms, you have to have 40 parking spaces, not 40 times 1.25.
Sure.
And then, but if you had a kitchen, or I'm sorry, if you had a restaurant or a conference room or something like that, there would be some additional spaces that
Correct.
they would be required to have on
correct.
site
Yes.
because of, you'd have other people coming.
again, I think the mayor mentioned that the comprehensive plan does follow this, and it's something we look at if we're trying to reduce impervious surface on the island and avoid stormwater runoff, less parking.
Less parking.
Does play into that.
So tell me again what the planning board recommended that we approve.
The planning board recommended following the ordinance of Wrightsville Beach, which was the 1 per guest room, 1.5 for 2-room suites, and 2 spaces for anything over.
Does anyone else have any questions or any comments?
Would this be where we would say if there is something to go on the island, that same parking lot requirement is going to be on that as well? Or does this go for the town as well? I know you said it's for C3 in general, but I just want to make sure,
It's for
like.
hotels. It would
Yeah,
just be for
so it's for any hotel anywhere, so even though it's a commercial, because we don't have that requirement for commercial use on the island right now, so I don't want that to be a gap somewhere in between, that they say, well, we're a commercial space and we're on the island, so I just want to make sure that carries over and that we can, I don't know if we need to say that carries over for anything in commercial zoned areas for
I'm
Surf
not
City.
sure how you could organize it that way, but yeah, the parking table, the parking requirements would be for the town.
I feel that, and a hotel that does come is going to want adequate parking spaces for anyone that stays there, so they wouldn't have to go to an off-site lot or pay for additional parking.
Yeah, and I can say these are minimum parking requirements, so they can always build more parking.
Anyone else have any questions or comments? Hearing none, do I have a motion to close?
Make a motion to close the public.
We have a motion to close public hearing. Do I have a
I'll
second?
second it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries to close the public hearing. At this time, it is requested that the town council consider approval of the ordinance amendment as presented.
I'll make a motion to approve it as presented.
I have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion is approved. Item number 3 is an ordinance amendment for low-speed vehicle sales, rentals, and maintenance, and Sean will present.
All right, our third revision would be a new addition to the land use code. Over the past 3 years, the town has been contacted by multiple parties interested in renting low-speed vehicles, commonly called street-legal golf carts. Most recently, another interested party expressed interest in renting street-legal UTVs. There is no mention of low-speed vehicles in Surf City zoning ordinances currently. However, our comprehensive land use plan provides the below policy and recommended action. Policy 4.1T, low-speed vehicles. The town supports the safe operation of street-legal low-speed vehicles, i.e. golf carts. Recommended action 4.1T, work with the planning board to explore policies and regulations concerning the operation of low-speed vehicles in the town. Currently, the state of North Carolina allows for the operation of low-speed vehicles, mini trucks, or modified UTVs on certain roadways in NC General Statute 20-121.1. While the statute covers much regarding low-speed vehicles, it should be noted that a low-speed vehicle may be operated only on streets and highways where the posted speed limit is 35 miles per hour or less. Ordinances regarding low-speed vehicles from Carolina Beach and Oak Island are included in your packet for review. Staff's recommendation would be to only allow low-speed vehicle sales, rentals, and maintenance in the C3 Central Business District. Per the comp plan and the recurring request to rent low-speed vehicles within town limits, staff requests to amend and define low-speed vehicles in the zoning ordinance and make adjustments to our use table to allow for low-speed vehicles in certain zoning districts. Planning board recommended moving the low-speed vehicle language forward as presented by staff in a vote of 6-2. And just to clarify, North Carolina allows us to have golf carts on our streets. So all we would be doing is creating the use to rent, sell, or maintain golf carts. And the language that you have in there closely resembles Oak Island's ordinances to this. So it talks about buffering, you can't have the golf carts out on the street, et cetera. So it's just the use, this wouldn't regulate golf carts in any way.
At this time, do I have a motion to open public hearing?
I'll make a motion to open the public hearing.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries to open public hearing. Does anyone have any questions or comments? Yes, ma'am, please come up to the podium. State your name and address, please.
Cindy Kennedy, 140B James Avenue. First of all, what is C3 area? I don't know what that is.
It's the Central Business District.
So only,
It's one of our zones.
only over in the island, or?
No, it's on the mainland as well.
Okay, because I currently do own a golf cart and ride around. It's nice to have that, especially in the summer traffic, rather than bring your car out. One thing I was interested in, before we brought ours, I wanted to rent one to see, and you cannot buy insurance when you rent one. So when you rent a golf cart and you were the one that causes the accident, you have no insurance. Now, my personal one, I had to get regular car insurance on it. It's considered like a motorcycle. But when you rent one, like, when you rent a car, you have the option of either buying insurance from the car rental place, or your car insurance covers it. It does not when you rent one. I just thought that was interesting. So therefore, we did not rent one. We just went ahead and brought one in. But that was all I had to say.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to make a comment or come up and speak?
I have a comment. I just bring this to light, and I just thought about this for a while, and we talked about it today. Me and Sean talked about it. Me and the chief of police talked about it. And, you see a lot of people. I own a golf cart, street legal golf cart. And, you see a lot of them that are rented. A lot of them, people own them, and they're back and forth, and they're in and out of town. And but one thing I noticed, and I got this question answered to me, when children are in these golf carts, if they're of age to be put in a motor vehicle, and in a motor vehicle they have to be in a car seat, it follows the same rule for golf carts. But you can see, if you watch the people that drive these back and forth and they rent them on the weekend or they own them, I've never seen a child in a car seat. And I just think that's something that should, I don't know how we address it, I don't know how, but the chief of police clarified it, that they follow under the same, street legal golf carts follow the same rule as a motor vehicle.
Yes.
If you have a 6-year-old kid in that golf cart, they should be in a car seat. And 99.9% of the time, they're not. So I just want to bring that to light, and I don't know if we need to do further discussion on that as a town, but I think it would be irresponsible if we didn't put something forth either to the rental companies or the individuals that own them. I've had my golf cart for about 4 or 5 years. My grandsons are just getting to be age where they don't need car seats, and if we're going to go to town, that's where they're going to go because they're in a seatbelt. But before that, I never took them, other than up and down our street. which doesn't make it right either, but it's not out in traffic.
Madam Mayor.
Absolutely. It's safety first when it comes to any motor vehicle, especially golf carts, and that is a job for our police officers to check on those items. But this is just an ordinance amendment to allow the sales, rentals, and maintenance only.
I was just taking the
Yes.
opportunity
Yeah.
to mention
Yeah.
it. And I know the police chief told me that they have stopped people and issued things to people that have been doing it, but somehow, some along the line, I think we should bring it to light to let the people know, either the town people, especially the people that rent these.
Absolutely. I think that's something that when something is rented, that's something that the rental place does go over with them as far as it is treated like a car in those situations.
Okay, that was all. I was just.
Calda, do you want to add anything?
No, Madam, you covered that perfectly. Thank you.
So realistically, if somebody is to open a low-speed vehicle rental facility, it would have to be on the island because it's not 35 miles an hour off the island anywhere.
Correct. Well, if they plan on driving them over to the island.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Or you could put them on the back of a truck.
right, and
tow 'em over
which
there.
is what's probably happening already in most places. So to me, it doesn't make sense for us to push people in renting golf carts where they can drive out somewhere because it's going to be on the island, which just adds to traffic. And if they're off the island, then they're still going to have to trailer it onto the island anyways. So it seems like it would be better for traffic for us not to have that.
Isn't the bridge speed limit 35 miles an hour?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're coming across the bridge, you're still not breaking the rule because you.
You have to come up to the podium if you want to speak.
Kennedy, 140B James Avenue. So I can go from my house on James Avenue, back past the new park, all through that neighborhood back in there, out to the turnaround. I can also go to United Methodist Church. From there towards the beach is 35. From there towards this way is not. So depending on where you live, like Waterside, you could come across at Gilligan's there, go all the way through the back way and come out of the circle and still maintain on the 35 miles per hour. There are ways to do it. You just have to be a little creative.
I guess that goes to my point. Then if we're renting them to people, then we're pushing these rented vehicles into people that are now driving through communities and neighborhoods where they're not experienced driving these vehicles.
Well, they
and now
rent
they're
them
driving.
now. I mean,
Yeah.
you can go up there on 17 and rent where we brought ours, Elite, I think
Yes.
it is. They rent them all summer long to people on the beach. They just deliver them to them.
Yeah. But I think most of the time beach rentals aren't going to come back off the island just to go back on the island. I guess they drive around the bridge in the traffic circle and then go back over, but
But it is, you are able
you
to
can
get
do
there.
it, yeah.
And this is a public hearing. If anyone would like to come up and speak on the ordinance amendment, this is for low-speed vehicle sales, rentals, and maintenance only. It's not for allowing them because North Carolina law already allows for these to be driven on our road where the speed limit is 35 or below. If anyone else wants to make a comment on low-speed vehicles, sales, rentals, or maintenance, now is your time to speak. Hearing none, do I have a motion to close public hearing?
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Public hearing is now closed. It is requested that the town council consider approval of the ordinance amendment as presented.
I'll make a motion to approve it as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign.
Aye.
I have one opposed. Motion carries. Thank you, Sean. Item number 4, Sean is up again. And
Sean.
This is another ordinance amendment, and it's a pool update.
Yes, so this was another omission on the new land use code. Previously, the town required that the maximum amount of concrete you could put around a in-ground residential swimming pool was 4 feet. This was left out of the new land use code, so we've had builders, specifically with pool companies, who are putting in pools, who are sending us site plans, and we look at this like we don't allow any concrete right now because we don't allow impervious surfaces on the island. So staff recommends reincorporating this back into the land use code. The comprehensive plan supports this recommendation, and objective 3.2, protect the natural environment of Surf City, and policy 3.1, island preservation. The planning board has recommended approval of the ordinance language as submitted by staff.
Thank you, Sean. Do I have a motion to open public hearing?
I'll make a motion to open the public hearing.
I second.
A motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries to open public hearing. Does anyone have any questions or concerns on the pool update?
How y'all doing? Mike and Fifi, A&A Builders. We'll use 14223 and see Highway 50 for the address. Couple comments for pools. So I am unfortunately very adept with building pools on the island, all across the island, not any longer in Topsail Beach as they have no longer approved them. But one comment is 4 feet will make you more restrictive than CAMA. CAMA does allow up to 6 foot in the shape of the pool. 4 foot, I don't know, is it square around the pool with your ordinance or is it in the shape?
We can't hear you, Michael.
Sorry.
We don't define that.
Okay, so they allow it in the absolute shape of the pool, and it's considered an access way only. It does not go towards your 500 square foot allowable that you have inside of the 60 or 120 foot CAMA setback. The 6 foot is for specifically access way, and that's how it's defined in the CAMA handbook. So I would caution y'all on being more restrictive. North Topsail Beach is being more restrictive right now, and they are, can't go into very much detail, but they will be experiencing some pushback on a lot of their recently changed ordinances with swimming pools. Decking is a CAMA restrictive item, whether it is pervious or impervious, concrete or not. It is a restrictive item, so it's one thing that permitting would look at. I would say concrete is also utilized in the engineering capacity of the hold down of a swimming pool. So whether it is a tie down and or a hold down or a hydraulic valve, all of them are incorporated as a weight hold down for scour and erosion during a hurricane event. So those items are all incorporated, and I would say the same comment I made to North Topsail Beach, CAMA spends millions and millions of dollars to develop their plan and their rules, and they do it for very specific reasons. Being more restrictive than them, of course, you guys have stormwater things that you're looking at, but as a comment towards the stormwater, you guys have a stormwater requirement that every single bit of stormwater runoff for a new build in your town has to be captured and managed with an engineered stormwater plan. So if you add 1 foot, 2 foot, 3 foot, whatever you add to your pool still has to be captured, whether it is in your CAMA setback or not. So all of that is accounted for on all new builds in Surf City already. So thanks.
Thank you. Does anyone else have any questions or comments on the pool update?
Sean, I got a question for you. By the way, you're doing a great job, Sean, by the way.
Ups and
I know
downs,
we were
thank
going to do the Imperial Death March when he walked up here from the Star Wars. He was a little nervous anyway. Explain why, to Mr. Afifi's point, so CAMA says 6 feet, right? But we want 4 feet. Tell me what the purpose of that, what's the purpose of if they've done all the work and they have all these graphs and millions of charts, they've done all this stuff, why are we wanting to be more restrictive? What would be the purpose? Because we're talking about new pools that are being built, correct, pretty much?
Correct. And this
How
is
many
just for
pools are
private
going to be?
swimming pools.
Yeah, how many pools are going to be built in Surf City? 10 a year, 20 a year?
It's a bit, yeah. We probably
So-
get, yeah.
Okay.
It's a good guess. I would say more than that. But,
Okay, but
yeah.
I'm just, what's the purpose from 4 to 6?
I would say that the 4 feet has been our policy for quite some time. Typically, we do have policies in the town that are more stringent than state policies, and that's up to the municipality to decide. But I couldn't really outline it why it would be more strict than CAMA's. I just know that we fall back to them for a lot of our regulations, but in this instance, this has just been the policy for years. So we aren't, by adding this back in, we aren't making it any more restrictive. We're just going back to how it has been.
So it is 4 feet currently?
Well, that's what.
It got left
Yeah,
out.
it got left out
It
of
got
that.
left
That's it.
out of,
We're not making a new one.
we're just adding it back in
Just
because
making
it
sure
got
that
left
it's
out of the comp plan.
documented.
And we probably only caught 1 or 2 people who actually asked the question over the last few months, because I'm pretty sure that people just have been building them to the ordinance, and then we realized that it wasn't in there anymore, so.
So this is just like some cleanup homework that
Okay.
Ms. Kimes left Sean to do.
And this, let me ask a question. And the idea of the concrete is a hold-down feature for the pool, to keep the pool in the ground, correct?
They have the tie downs for the pool, and then the concrete is more to hold it down on the surface outside
It's
the
really
pool,
not like
but
a
as
patio
well for
feature.
drainage as well.
So it's really
Yeah.
not a patio feature, it's
Not
technically...
I mean, it can be at some lengths, but most of the time we don't see it that much outside of the pool. It's only 2 or 3 feet, and then we'll have slatted decks, like he's brought up. Other things that will actually be the patio
Yeah,
around
right.
that. Yeah.
Mayor, may I make a suggestion?
Absolutely.
Currently, we do not have an ordinance in place to build a pool. Let's pass this ordinance, get it back like it was, and let's put this on a workshop on whether or not we want to change this ordinance to extend the outline of the pool.
I mean, it was understood to be 4
We're getting
feet, and we're
ready to
just
get
trying to
in the
make sure it's documented correctly.
Correct, yeah.
I'd recommend Councilman Kennedy kick it back to the planning board to figure out the weeds of it, and then they can recommend if they want to change it to 6 feet.
I like that better.
I think it'd be, we haven't considered changing it. We were just trying to make sure it was documented correctly.
Like I said, I believe people have been acting as if, right? They
Right.
think it's there, so that's what they've been doing.
Let me ask you this. Okay, so if it's, right now it's a minimum of 4 feet, or it's going to be minimum of 4 feet.
Maximum, sorry. Yeah,
Maximum,
it's a maximum.
sorry, maximum of 4 feet. Let's just say, okay, the pool's a, for lack of anything better, it's a rectangle, right? And you wanted to do it for a hold-down feature plus a patio feature. Could you do 2 feet on 3 sides, and then 10 feet on one end? Or is that?
No, I don't think we could do the math like that. I'm also not as adept at building pools, Mr. You could probably talk to it.
Well, I was just saying, if it's a hold-down feature, I can
The tie down
understand.
is more inside the pool, and then our barriers are more outside of the pool.
Okay, so what does the concrete feature have to do with the pool, other than aesthetics? Or is that,
It's a foundation for the pool when it goes in the ground.
okay.
Yeah. Otherwise, we'd just be,
Public hearing.
it would go in with the dirt.
And we're talking fiberglass or concrete? Both, okay. I was just curious.
We just need a pool guy. Anybody a pool guy?
Thank you, Sean.
Thanks, Sean.
So
I don't have a pool.
would anyone else like to make a comment during public hearing? We are still in public hearing. If there's anyone else that would like to make a comment, now is your time to. Hearing none, do I have a motion to close public hearing?
I'll make a motion to close public hearing.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Public hearing is now closed. And it sounds like we have heard the ordinance. We just need to make put it back into the comp plan. And I'm thinking that we would then, sounds like a couple want to readdress it after we add it back in, maybe bring it back to a workshop. So is there any other discussion?
I'll make the motion that we approve the way submitted to get this back in the book so people can build pool, and ask that planning board review to see if it needs to be adjusted based on the camera rules that may or may not be in place.
I'll second that.
Yes.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you, Sean. No more public hearings tonight. Moving on to, there's no old business, moving on to new business. Cape Fear Community College site plan.
Thank you. Trevor Smith is requesting approval of the site plan associated with Cape Fear Community College. located 621 NC Highway 210 East and identified as Pender County GIS 4225 371501000. A zoning map is shown in your packet for review. Cape Fear Community College proposed a satellite campus in the town of Surf City in 2012. At that time, a master plan was completed to include 5 standalone buildings with an option to either add to Building 1 or provide an additional standalone building. Based on a review of the file records, the master plan for the site did not go before the town council for approval. Based on that master plan, Building 1 would include 10,000 square feet with the option of a 20,000 square foot addition labeled Building 2A, or a standalone addition labeled Building 2B between Building 1 and NC 210. The remaining 4 buildings totaled 40,000 square feet with associated parking and stormwater. The proposed master plan accounted for 70,000 square feet of classroom space built in 3 phases with a completion date of 2024. Since the presentation of the master plan, the build out of the site has shifted to the addition of an approximately 12,000 square foot building connected to the existing building by a covered walkway. The remainder of the property will remain undisturbed at this time. In your packet, you see that Cape Fear has worked with the Department of Transportation as a part of the initial site plan process. The TIA required a second entrance for the full build. For bicycle pedestrian facilities, they have placed a sidewalk along the NC 210 frontage, and internal sidewalks will be provided. The project will receive water and sewer from the town of Surf City. Stormwater, they do have a state stormwater permit. It's been approved to include this addition. Parking, the proposed site plan meets the requirement of town ordinances by providing 151 parking spaces, including 6 ADA spaces. The applicant has submitted architectural renderings for the proposed buildings. The renderings are consistent with the existing building. Staff does recommend approval as submitted.
Okay. I was getting ready to say open public hearing, but that's not one. Anyone have any questions?
Nope.
Did you have a?
Yeah, where would the second entrance be there?
I believe Greg could be able to share on this for you guys, specifics.
I'm Greg Fritz with WM Jordan, the general contractor. So, and I live in Wilmington, 7009 Cayman Court. There will be a second parking area behind the new addition for the vehicles, and then there'll be new entrances. There'll be 3 new entrances to the actual building for students and staff.
Not on Highway 210.
Oh, not on Highway 210. There's no new entrance on Highway
Okay.
210.
Okay.
Way back here.
Specific questions?
We all took a field trip not long ago to Cape Fear Community College downtown and heard about the new classes that they want to offer here in Surf City, and it's a something that our community definitely needs with the growth that we have seen to offer more classes for different trades here in our community. So, does anyone else have any further questions for Sean? If we don't have any, it is requested that the town council consider approving the site plan as presented.
I'll make a motion to approve it as presented.
Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries to approve the Cape Fear Community College site plan. Last but not least, item number 6 under new business is Bat subdivision, and Sean Olds will present.
Michael Afifi is requesting to subdivide an existing 1-acre lot in the Weymouth Bats Belt Road subdivision to a half-acre lot for the purpose of building a single-family residential home. The lots have already been approved for 3-bedroom septic systems and will have direct access to Belt Road with the respective driveway. No internal connection is currently planned. There is a provided map below, and it's identified as Pender County GIS 4236404769-000. In January of 2022, the owner requested to subdivide the tract into the 3 parcels The process was completed through a minor expedited process. The subdivision resulted in the creation of two half-acre lots. In January of 2023, the parent parcel was again divided. The property was subdivided to create a 2-acre home site. In April 2024, the property was subdivided to create an additional 1-acre lot. At this time, it is requested to subdivide the property once again to create the additional half-acre lot. The lot will have that connection to Belt Road. It will be served by Pender County Utilities for water and will require a septic permit. Based on conversations with the applicant, additional lots cannot be created until another wastewater solution is achieved. The parent parcel is zoned R10 with the adjacent Pender County zoning listed as residential performance. The proposed subdivision of this property will create 2 conforming R10 lots and will be compatible with the surrounding Pender County zoning. Staff recommends approval of the site plan as submitted. The planning board did vote to approve the site plan as submitted. Thank you.
Anyone have any questions concerning the site plan?
So on the whole parcel that's here, not the subdivided pieces out of it, they can't subdivide again without having to do additional stormwater stuff essentially, so you can't. Okay.
Wastewater. I believe.
Wastewater,
Yeah,
sorry.
for utilities.
Yeah, okay.
Is this a spot annex?
It was annexed many years ago. I want to say back in 2003. What do you say? 2008?
It started off with the being serviced by the county instead of being serviced through the town with the water and whatnot. That's the reason I was asking that.
Anyone else have any questions? Hearing no questions, it is requested that the town of Surf City consider approving the subdivision as requested.
I'll make a motion. Ooh,
Go ahead, you do it. You're good, go ahead.
I'll make a motion that we approve as submitted.
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries to approve. All right, Sean. Sean, come here, please.
Good job, Sean.
Here, take this, please.
Open this, you want some water?
Thank you, Sean.
He's gonna go have a drink tonight.
Okay. Thank y'all for being patient through all the public hearings and through the planning part of our meeting tonight, which basically was all of our meeting. At this time, I'm going to ask Hal Brewer to present the manager's report.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. It's my pleasure to provide my report, and good evening, everybody in the audience and everybody watching. We'll start off with the major project going on with our Banks Channel navigation project. So we had a project meeting this morning with Norfolk Dredging and TI Coastal, who is our coastal engineer for the project. I'm happy to report that they've had excellent production over the last couple weeks after a somewhat of a rough start on it, but we are now up to about 300,000 cubic yards on the beach, which equates to approximately 200,000 additional cubic yards to go. Production was slowed due to mechanical and operational issues, so we will be pushing right up to the deadline and may need to request an extension of 1 to 2 weeks. We'll know for sure next week in communicating those delays to those affected. This is not something that we want to do or anticipated. However, sometimes things just happen with projects like this. Following the dredging, contractors will need to demobilize from the beach, which may take some additional time. Get all the pipe off of there. They'll most likely float that back in the ocean and around, and it's a lot of work going on. I did want to note that due to the distance in which they are working on the beach, the increased hydraulic pressure creates a lot of friction in the pipes. So where that crosses over at Hispaniola at access 39, it's being recommended that we do shut that access down just for additional safety. We're not concerned about the pipes, nothing happening there, but there's just a lot going on there, and we will be messaging out to the community that we're going to shut that down. So there will be a hard closure on that starting tomorrow. And as we were sitting here, I wanted to got an email from our project manager at the Army Corps of Engineers. He just wanted to let me know that they're very close to submitting the general reevaluation report, that they were delayed because of the programmatic agreement. But we have just one more item to complete, and then we will be submitting it. The South Atlantic Division has been helping them crash the schedule in his terms to compensate for the delay. So they're still planning on the May Chiefs report, which is obviously good news, even though they've had some internal delays. So, Madam Mayor, I have another document for you to sign tomorrow, but just wanted to give you that update since I received it, and we're still on track with the core project, which is also exciting. Our skate park, beloved skate park, has got to close for a week starting next week so that we can do some maintenance on that. The wave feature and the unique concrete formation has had a couple of cracks, but not anything structurally. So they'll be going in and cleaning that up and putting some epoxy in those cracks. And then town staff will be doing some cleaning of the interior of that, as we had experienced a little bit of graffiti there. Also wanted to report, we had a Island Town Center business meeting yesterday. Again, this is a program that we've been doing quarterly and trying to get information out to the community on projects and what's happening within our community. We started with realtors and contractors, and we did mainland business and then island business. So just a good opportunity for them to come in and ask questions, and then we can provide some information back to them to continue our partnership here in Surf City. With that, we took a lot of comments about the island roundabout and congestion and issues that we all face in the summertime, and just sent you all an update from an express design meeting with DOT that we took part in earlier this week. So they are studying some alternatives to the island roundabout, some treatments, et cetera. We're hoping for a low cost and high impact solution. Nothing is going to ever resolve all traffic congestion. However, if we can make things a little bit better, we're going to try to do that. So that work is being done right now. Let's see, wanted to report on some good news. Chief Wilson in the back here, fire department, they received another state level recognition for the Surf City Fire Department Kids Recruit Academy. So being recognized for some of the efforts that they're doing for education of our community. So at their annual conference on February 26th, the North Carolina Fire and Life Safety Educators Association awarded the Surf City Fire Department's Kids Recruit Academy the 2025 Program of Excellence, recognizing it as the best program nominated in 2024. I know Tim Van Pelt kind of leads that up, but it's really all of the department and staff that have some effort that goes into that, and I think it's just a great opportunity to expand our youth programming outside of the rec center and having them put that on. So the unique and interactive camp exposes local children to the realities of becoming firefighters. Participants engaged in activities such as physical training, teamwork, advancing fire hoses, entanglement exercises, ocean rescue, first aid, and obstacle courses. All activities were tailored for kid participation. Many of our most cherished accolades come from parents of female recruits who thank us for showing that firefighting is not solely for boys. Our program aims to empower young girls to pursue their passion for firefighting without gender barriers. So again, congratulations to the fire department for that accolade there. On the personnel note, we are knee-deep in personnel evaluations, setting goals, work plans for the upcoming year. And also on the tail end of that, we are also nose-deep in budget preparation for the upcoming fiscal year. As a reminder, we have a work session a week from tomorrow in which departments will come in and present their budgets. So the finance director and I have been meeting with department heads over the last 2 weeks to listen to their requests to continue to provide excellent service back to the community. And, you know, as every year that I've been here, at least, tough decisions have to be made in the budget process. However, trying to maintain or enhance the community services that we do provide back to our residents. So with that being said, Madam Mayor, that is my report for today. And if there's ever any questions, please let me know.
Thank you very much, Cal. Who wants to go first?
I'll go.
Okay.
All right, springtime's here finally. I hope everybody's enjoying it, man. It's really nice. Two things. I want to comment on the small business meetings that Kyle mentioned earlier, the quarterly meetings. For those here and those watching, if you can, you're welcome to attend these. And I think you will be very pleased at the information you go away with. Kyle does a great job as a presentation, and it'll give you, for your contractors and your realtors, and you'll get a sense of what the feel is and what's going on in the town and what their questions or concerns are, and it'll help you understand and give you some ideas on how you would like to proceed or what you would like to see the town. I highly recommend it. I've thoroughly enjoyed those meetings. Number two, my main man in the back, March Madness is here. I know he's ready, yeah. Get excited for it. I hope everybody enjoys it and is looking forward to it, and thank you all for coming out.
Thank you. Trudy?
Sure, yeah. No, it is nice to see better weather. And I like to see everybody out and enjoying where we live. That's important to our town. That's why we have things like our wonderful bridge and all of these parks and rec activities and things like that. So I love that our town is focused on a lot of things like that. It's a little ahead of the game, but I did attend a permit holder meeting down in Fort Fisher most of the day today for as Topsail Island Turtle Project has a permit to work with the sea turtles. We went for an update at a state level for that today. That's something I've always done outside of council, but it's always interesting to see what's going on with the protection and preservation and conservation of our marine life, and it's more than just turtles. So that was an interesting report. I know that I'm thankful for Kyle keeping us abreast of the Army Corps project. That's huge. It will be a 16-month project, right?
Yes.
But for the long haul, it's really definitely needed. It will be a little painful in the moment, but we've worked on this for way too many years to fuss about it now. We've got to move forward on that, so I'm thankful that is moving along. Thank you for the update. I am appreciative of our neighboring towns and people who serve like us, and particularly Olivia Dawson, Mayor of Burgaw. She's also the Director of Tourism for Pender County, and she had made us aware of some awards that directly affected our town, and I thought that were worth mentioning today. They were I'm going to call it the CFA Awards. I don't know if they pronounce it do the little acronym thing, but it's Southeast Festival Events and Association Awards. And I wanted to, this is multi-state. It's obviously for Southeast, it's Alabama and Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Florida, Georgia, Kentucky, North Carolina, Tennessee, and South Carolina. But there was a 2025 Kaleidoscope Award winner. And for the best festival or event video, that went to Surf City Live. That was held right here in Surf City. So that was exciting for that to be such a widespread area, and one of our very own events won that award. And also best new event and green initiative was Oyster Palooza from Ocean Fest. So I thought that was awesome that our town won awards at that level and that scope of the country. So I just wanted to comment on that. So good job.
You want to get your
Yeah. Okay, so it's always a pleasure to see everybody come out. Thanks very much for coming out. Fun fact, okay? This is really not super important to everybody, but I spent an hour last night waiting to see the space shuttle fly over the island to find out from a text from my wife that it was canceled, which was okay. So I got my gloves and stuff on because it was pretty cold up there, and watched the beach nourishment guys working away, hoping that their lights wasn't going to drown out the show. But in any case, I found out tonight, depending upon what you consider tonight meaning 1:09 a.m., there's a blood moon tonight, and there's going to be a total lunar eclipse. So if anybody wants to venture out,
Where's the space shuttle going tonight? Tomorrow night. Oh, tomorrow night. What time?
I don't know. I'm just going to wait. I'm just going to go up there and wait. I don't know.
Give us a call, let us know.
Yeah, but yeah, the lunar eclipse starts at 1:09 a.m. and is done at 2:26 a.m. So if I can stay awake, I'm going to go up there and check it out because I did spend some time last night, and it's pretty cool. I try to see as many eclipses as I can while I'm still on Earth because, they always say, well, the next one is in 2040, and I figured, well, I ain't going to make that one. Anyway, thanks for coming out, and that's just a fun fact that doesn't really mean much.
Thank you, John.
I just have a reminder that summer camp registration opened up. So for all the parents out there, this is your friendly reminder that we all know it fills up and it fills up quick. And we are doing the entire summer camp at the Surf City Elementary and Middle School campus location. So it's a cool opportunity for kids to go and have a good summer and do lots of fun activities. So make sure you get online and register. That's it.
You, Alicia?
I'm good, thank you.
Nothing?
I'm good.
Absolutely nothing? Okay, well, I will go to the town attorney because I skipped him.
I skipped him.
Got the report. That's okay.
Okay. First off, I would like to call up little Mr. Ellis. Please.
Little Mr. Ellis.
Little Mr. Ellis.
Lame man.
You have sat very patiently.
Teresa's giving out candy today.
Look at his face.
You start on this side.
Okay.
Let me see John.
Please, come up and show your artwork.
I asked him if he's
We want to see a picture of Teresa and Jeremy.
Thank you
We want
very
to see
much.
John. What's John?
We see Teresa.
This is good stuff here.
Good job.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. This is
I'm going to
beautiful.
hang this in my office at home.
Teresa, that's mayor. Look at that.
I love it. Okay, again, Topsail Beach lost a member of their council, their mayor, in the last couple of weeks, Morton Blanchard. So we want to make sure that we keep their town and the family in our prayers. They do have a memorial service that will be, I think it's next weekend, maybe next Saturday, the 22nd, 23rd, 7:30. So please keep that in mind. We had a great turnout for our expo. I think it was 30% larger than it's ever been before. So we were very excited for the expo and everyone that came out and got to present their businesses and promote our city. And I also want to take this time to say, I don't think I saw Cam Hall sit through a complete meeting. So you've sat here very patiently. I don't have any more candy in front of me, but I'll get you.
I got some if you want to come up.
But nice to see Mark Billets join us back in our meeting again. I haven't seen Mark in a while, but in the last couple of weeks, we have been extremely busy. And I want to take the time to say thank you to Trudy, to Hugh, to Jeremy, to John, and to Alicia for basically donating their time to the town of Surf City. We have probably a very hard month coming up to us with budget season that it's going to take a lot of our time, and we're going to probably butt heads on a lot of items. So maybe we should have the pastor pray for us every day until that time. But we also have had some really good meetings with, we were at a dinner a couple weeks ago, and the lieutenant governor was there, and we got to talk to her for a while, which was Rachel Hunt. We again have met with Senator Jackson, Senator Lazar, Representative Carson Smith on issues relating to our town that we are trying to get more funding, and never think that there's a day that just because you may not see our car here, you may not see us at Town Hall, that we're not working, because we are working for the citizens of Surf City. And just to close on the note that John, I will second what John said, because tonight, everything lines up. And the moon, all the planets, everything. And it's already been declared by the chief of police that there is some crazy stuff happening already. And it hasn't even happened yet. It's going to happen, but we appreciate you all coming and sitting through this meeting tonight. At this time, I am going to ask for a motion to go into closed session.
I'd like to make a motion to go into closed session for personnel, please.
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. And we will go in closed session. I need a motion to come out of closed session.
I'll make a motion to come out of closed session.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. I need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
And I'll second that motion.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Have